John Hogan, you're over here with Big John, Mazmanian, helping out Bones.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit. I know you got some good stories about Big John.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, a lot of people don't know that John is a World War II hero. He's in the Battle of the Coral Sea, and was on the Lexington when it was hit by a kamikaze. Lost the guy next to him, shrapnel in his leg. A wonderful, big-hearted guy, and a real, true American hero from World War II, no doubt about it.
John?
Love him. Love Big John. Raced him in the final also for the manufacturers meet in 1968 when I was a crew chief on Schumacher's car. And John came right over after he beat us and shook our hand and invited us over for shish kebab.
I was 16 years old. I was going to high school, and I built a 1932 Ford Highboy. It was a beautiful car. I raced the car at El Mirage. I turned 118.36. We used to block off the street, you know, here off of Slauson here in East LA. I used to race there and beat everybody, you know. Every car they ever brought up, I beat them. Then when the war broke out, you know, I enlisted in the service. So, you know, I was 16 and 9 months old. I joined the Navy. So I was in the service for 2 years and the war was over. And I came back home and I asked my dad, "Where's my car?" And he says, "I don't want you to have the car, you're gonna kill yourself." He says, "I sold it." I said, "Don't you think you ought to tell me?" I said, "Before you sell it, you know." He said, "No," he says, "I want you to settle down and get married, you know." I said, "Well, I don't want to settle down, you know." And I says, "I've been in the service for 2 years in the Navy," and I says, I want to be able to, you know, enjoy myself a little. Anyway, I got married and started a family, you know, and everything else in business. So then as time went by, my nephew Richard was old enough, and he started driving the Corvette in the streets, you know, and racing. And go down to drive-ins, choose everybody off at Laguna Beach and over to Newport Beach. Right. And car couldn't get beat, you know, he beat everything. So then what we did was put a set of heads on it, you know, we poured and polished the heads, and we put a cam in it, put an Esky cam in it, you know, and the car was vicious. I mean, that car just exploded off the line, you know. Well, the way we got involved in this thing too was my mother called me in and said, "You know, your nephew got a ticket, you know, for speeding. And she says he's going to kill somebody or himself. So I want you to do something about it." I said, "Okay, Mom, I'll go talk to him." I went and talked to Richard. Told Richard, I says, "Do you want to race or do you want to drive in the streets and kill somebody or what?" He says, "No, Uncle, I want to race, you know." So I said, "Well, let's do it about the right way. Let's race the right way." So we had the car dyno tuned by Don Nicholson, you know, again. And then the way Richard was driving, he was the first one, he puts it to the floor and it had a 4-speed. And it sounded like an automatic, you know, he wouldn't let up. You just pow, you know, back and forth, you know, just without letting up on the foot. And that car used to go, oh, like it was automatic going down there. So anyway, so that's how we got started racing. And then we went from stock, we went to B, modified sport. We set the record there, won that. Then we decided to put a blower on the car. Then we put the blower on the car, and the car just immediately came to life. You know, I mean, it really started running, putting records in, everything else. That's when I met Bones Balo. He was running a Corvette called J.J. Muffler.
The next week, I'm at the racetrack, and here's John having a ball out there. And we lined up. He beats me by this much, a little bit, you know, and I'm down, boy, I'm down. I'm crying almost. how did you do that, John? I said, well, then I looked at my time slip. I said, there's something wrong with my car. He says, forget it, Bones. He says, look at my nice car over there. Why don't we be partners? We'll put your motor in my Corvette, and we be partners. I says, well, that's nice, but I won't drive a 4-speed with a clutch in it. No, I'll put your automatic in there too. And that's how it all started with Big John Mazmanian.
Bones started driving the car, you know, and we started beating everybody where there was no more competition. So Bones suggested, why don't we build a B-gas supercharged car? Bought a junk motor, a Chrysler. In those days, everything was Oldsmobile. All your fuel dragsters, Gartlets, everybody ran Oldsmobile motors, you know. And McEwen, Perdome, everybody ran the olds in those days. You know, fuel or gas, whatever. Well, I hadn't been in the gas ranks more than 6 months, you know. So I told Bones, I says, let's go build a 392 Chrysler. Everybody told us that it wouldn't work, that the Chrysler didn't have enough torque, that the Oldsmobile had more torque and was a better motor. And I said, well, we'll see. I said, you know, I'm not discouraged. So we finished the motor, and we took the car out to Pomona, and right off the trailer that thing ran, broke the track record, and Tim's record, and Cook's record, and one run. First run, it was real rich, you know, bletching black smoke because we didn't know where to start. Then we started leaning it down. Every time we leaned it down, every run, you know, we'd go faster and quicker. We wanted to race Snowwoods and Cook, so they won races. Chasing them, you know, from track to track, want to match up with them, you know, and they wouldn't race. That's when the whole trend changed. Everybody started changing from Oldsmobile to Chrysler to Hemis, you know. And then they finished theirs, and they came out, and we raced them at Long Beach, and they beat me at Long Beach. We just smoked the tires all the way down, you know. And then we went to Bakersfield. I won at Bakersfield, you know. And so anyway, we were getting to be like a grudge race, you know. And a lot of people think it was fake, but it wasn't, like wrestling, you know. Every Monday morning we'd write it to the paper, you know. And I like the competition, even if I win or lose, because if I lose, that makes me work harder to see where I'm at and why I want to beat you next week.
Right.
You know, I didn't let you beat me 2 times in a row. There's something wrong, see? So anyway, we used to write letters back and forth, and got real popular, and all the track operators in the East start calling me, you know, want to book me in, see? But I didn't build a car to tour. I built a car, you know, because I was in the trash business, and I couldn't leave, and my wife wouldn't let me. It was like a hobby, the car. It was family run, the car. So I says, no, I think I'll just stay here, you know. But I had so many dates, so many big money, you know, racing dates, you know, and everything, that I couldn't pass up the publicity or the, you know, the money.
Opportunity. Yeah.
So then I hired Dick Burgoyce to drive the car and take it on tour. Burgoyce calls me and says, John, he said, what's the sense of us towing the car all the way back? The Hill brothers are here and they want to buy the car, see? So I told him, I said, well, I don't want to sell the motor, you know? And he says, well, I told him that, and he says, they'll buy it less motors. And so then I heard that the Hill brothers, you know, US 30 or somewhere, they totaled the car out in the lights, you know, flipped it, and nothing left of it. We came back, so we built the Austin, you know, and it was, we ran, like I said, my Austin for about a year, and we had no competition. I mean, that car destroyed everybody, you know. Then Richard was driving. Richard says, Unc, he says, why don't we build a funny car, you know? And I says, well, I've never run fuel. And I said, you know, it's a lot more expensive. And this is, mind you now, this is just a hobby, like if you go bowling every week with your family. Well, my family used to come to the track with us, you know. And they used to make Armenian shish kebab out there, you know, and feed everybody, you know, next to the trailer. Win or lose, you know, we used to have a good time. My daughter, my son, he used to pack the parachute, run the valves, you know, Vic did, and my wife would, you know, bring the parts and everything else over there to us, you know. Right. And they used to call us the Armenian Army. And so we built the funny car. First time out, we went to Irwindale to test the car. The car broke the record, track record, everything, ran 198 something, you know. The following week, we were at Orange County, it was the Funny Car Championships they had. We'd start racing from Wednesday all the way on to Sunday, eliminations, all the teams, you know. And we won that. And my nephew Richard wanted to get married. So I told him, you can't drive the car anymore. You're going to get married, you know? And he says, why? I says, well, if something happens to you, car catches on fire, you cut a hand or leg or something, I don't want to hurt you. My family demanded more time of myself, you know? I'm never home. And my business needed more attention, you know, wanted me to be there, everything else. So I just hung it up, you know. Otherwise, I'd still be out there. I love it.
Don't let the gray hair fool you.
Oh boy, I'm glad I smoked the tires.
Racing's been good to me, and I've been good to racing, and like I said, I meet so many good people. That was more enjoyment than winning.
Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like a lemon drops, high above the chimney top, that's where